Good evening, dear sisters and brothers. Welcome to today's edition of Being Heartful Every Day. We are on week 15, and the quality for the week we'll be discussing this week is flexibility. And Master gave a subtitle as A Joyful Adventure. We joyfully go inside ourselves, do an adventure, realize how to get things done. So let's all try doing this. My name is Prasanna Krishna. I'll be facilitating today's session. So this is the day session, day 99. We are one short of 100. Tomorrow, let's prepare for 100th day of being heartful every day. Before we start, the same requests on sharing master classes to at least one or two people every day who are your associates. Let them know that a system like Heartfulness exists, and if they're willing to start, they can try out the master classes. And also, to people who are already practicing, share this program, the link to this program, Being Heartful Every Day. Share it with as many people as you want, as possible. Let's move on to the inspirational reading part. Today we'll be talking about this article by Daji, where he talks about peace and compassion. Last month, Daji introduced us to ways to change our behavior patterns and habits according to the wisdom of practices of yoga, traditionally known as yamas and niyamas. This month, he focuses on the first yama, known as ahimsa or non-violence. In the field where peace prevails, it fascinates me to read some of our ancient texts and realize that wise people of those times understood human nature so well. For example, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras are just as relevant today as they were 1,000 years ago, thousands of years ago. Does that mean that humanity is still at the same level of evolution as it was during Patanjali's time? Patanjali starts his treatise on the 8 limbs of yoga with the yamas. The first of the yama is ahimsa, which means to cultivate the habit of non-violence. If you reflect on that for a moment, that the first step in the yoga is to remove violence, aggression, and any other habits that hurt other living beings from our nature. You will realize that this is the starting point of becoming human. It somehow resonates with the golden rule, which simply put is, treat others the way you would like to be treated. I'll read that again. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. Saying it a bit differently, don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you. Apply this simple principle to non-violence, truthfulness, compassion, prejudice, empathy, love, anger, hatred, etc. Non-violence has been an aspiration of many wise people from all cultures for thousands of years. And still, we have not mastered it collectively. What would a world look like where there is no violence? Most people will agree that it would be such a beautiful vision. The question is, how do we arrive at this stage, at that stage? And is it even feasible in today's uncertain times? In fact, it's precisely such unstable, uncertain times that it is important to cultivate the habit of non-violence in order to build a better future for our children, grandchildren, and all other living beings. And it all starts with inner peace. Creating the field for peace. Peace is not something that happens by talking about it, writing about it, or attending peace rallies. It requires a regular daily practice, a method that removes the inner obstacles to peace, the inner cause of violence, and helps us to go deeper within to find the stillness at the center of our being. Peace is always to be found at our center. It's our inner nature. It simply needs to be uncovered and nurtured. So, what are the obstacles we need to remove to arrive at peace? They are the mental deviations we accumulate in the field of our consciousness, and they create heaviness, complexity, and emotional turbulence. They have been described in detail in the series on yogic psychology in 2019 in Heartfulness magazine. Until we remove these complexities, collectively known as samskaras, it's difficult to feel peaceful because they form whirlpools of knots of energy. I'll read that again. It will be difficult to feel peaceful because they form whirlpools, knots of energy that disturb our inner balance. These vibrational knots lead to specific programming of our subconscious minds and hardwiring of a nervous system along with specific neural pathways. This process leads to habit formation, and we know from science that it takes regular repetition to form a new habit through this process, which all starts with the intention of a thought. Such subconscious programming has developed over millions of years for our survival and has many positive purposes. Imagine if you did not have a program to prevent you from walking onto a road full of traffic, jumping off a high cliff, or putting your hand into a fire. Without the habitual responses of subconscious mind, we would neither thrive nor survive. Also, imagine if you had to read a book or drive a car without the automatic programs that allow you to read without thinking about every letter and every word, or multitask while you're driving. But there are many subconscious programs that are not useful, even though they originally formed because of repetitive experience that may have been relevant at that time. It is those programs that keep us stuck in useless habits. Okay, it's 2 minutes to the universal prayer. So let's introspect on what we read just now, where Daji spoke about how habits are developed, the psychological and the scientific aspects of it, and also how do we get into this state into this state of inner peace. So let's introspect on this for a couple of minutes. At 9 o'clock precisely, we'll start the universal prayer. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock now. Let's start a universal prayer. We'll start now and continue to 9:15 p.m. for 15 minutes. We'll sit with our hearts full of love and in a very prayerful attitude. And we'll pray that all brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. Actually, these words are meant to be a guideline for us to develop that inner prayerful attitude. So while we read these words, we don't have to repeat it during the prayer. It is that attitude of prayerfulness that all brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. We need to maintain this attitude for the next 15 minutes with a heartful prayer. हम अभी यूनिवर्सल प्रेयर शुरू करेंगे और हृदय में एक गहरी प्रार्थना भाव से हम ये प्रार्थना करेंगे कि सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। इस शब्दों का इतना मतलब नहीं है, पर अपना मन में जो गहरा भाव आता है ना, प्रार्थना का भाव, वो इम्पोर्टेंट है। और इन शब्दों ने हमें एक गाइडेंस दे रही है कि हम ये प्रार्थना करना चाहिए कि सब भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। तो हम प्रार्थना शुरू करेंगे। विल कंटिन्यू आफ्टर prayer till about 9:50. You can gently open your eyes. Try to retain that prayerful attitude as much as possible. Let's all try to retain that attitude. So this brings us to the end of today's program. But there's one thing I thought I'll make a request to all of us. See, this Being Heartful Everyday program is being done on the event of 125th birth anniversary of Babuji Maharaj, Revered Babuji Maharaj. And one of the reasons Daji said we should do this program was we have defined one quality for every week. So we have covered 14 weeks till now. While 100th day doesn't make any spiritual milestone or anything, we can use it as a milestone to see how we have been doing on each of these qualities. We have covered 14 qualities till now. Have I been able to integrate it better into my life? Have I been able to develop these qualities? Let's introspect on this during the bedtime prayer and outside of it also to see how can I make it better for myself? This is not something we have discussed. It's for each one of us to think it over. If Daji's intention was for us to develop these qualities so that we can spiritually evolve, how have I been in developing these qualities and meeting his objective that we should develop this quality? So let's take off that situation today. If you feel one or two qualities are more important, I've done better in these qualities while not being able to do not so well in a couple of other qualities. So let's try to introspect on these four qualities which has been provided to us and see how we can do better. If there's something already happened, we can't change it. But can we do better going forward? I think let's use this 100th day as a milestone to introspect for us. This is my humble suggestion to all of us. So let's meet tomorrow at 6 a.m. Those of you who find this suggestion as something important can do it. It's not something mandatory, but I think it's good for us to take stock of where we are. So let's meet tomorrow at 6 a.m. Thank you and good night.